Hey guys, wave. So today what we're going to be doing with her hair is that we're going to be taking off quite a bit of length, and then we're also going to be changing the color. So we're going to be doing a whole change, and we're excited about that. So let's take a look at the photo again that you had for the cut. Okay, perfect. So you can see that's what we're going for the cut. So we're actually going to be taking off a decent amount of length. She's here longer than brushing on her shoulders. Also, you have curl. So the thing to know about that is, like, are you mainly wearing your hair curly? You always wear straight. Always. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So are you okay then with having, obviously if we cut it to this length, once it curls, it pops up a little bit. That's okay. Perfect. Yeah. So what we're going to probably be about there once it's done. Have you had your hair this length before? Even shorter. Okay, perfect. So you're good. And actually, you used to do hair, didn't you? Yes. Okay, so you've had your hair probably shaved up one side and down the other. Okay, awesome. Sounds good. So that's what we'll do. We'll have it kind of about there. We'll put some texture into it. We'll have a little bit of a longer fringe and just have it soft little blend. And then color-wise, let's look at your color. So what we're doing is we're in the silver and gray family, and we have a really fun color that we're going to do. She's ready for a change, so you can see that. So when we look at this photo, she's actually blonde and then darker on the ends. So when you see that, like, which color are you really loving? Is it like that you're liking this dark color, or are you wanting this exactly? Or are you liking this light silvery stuff in here? Because that's always an important.
Yeah, like the charcoal underneath. Okay. And then just a little bit of yellow, the lighter stuff on the top.
Okay, so you do want to see kind of a similar coloring pattern to this with the blonde on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm open to whatever.
Okay, sounds good. And then are you wanting to keep your base, your dark color, so to have it kind of as a shadow root, or would you want the blonde and the gray to go right to the root? The differences between the two is that, like, if we do the shadow root, it's gonna be a bigger job to do to put it into your hair, but then as your hair grows out, then you're not gonna have that harsh line that we talked about.
Yeah.
If we do the right to your root light, it's an easier job to do, like, behind the chair, but then what happens when it grows out, you'll see more of that line from dark to light. So what do you think you'd prefer with that?
Probably a little bit more of a blend.
A little more of a blend, okay.
Yeah.
So a little bit more of a shadow root. Okay, perfect. So what we'll do is we'll keep your natural color as the base, which is great, and then we'll do the shadow root where it's gonna be a bunch of foils. The color won't look exactly like this in terms of, like, the shade of gray. It's really going to depend how light we get you. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a full head of foils back to back to do, because, like, she doesn't have any of her natural in there, so that's what you want, right? Yeah, none of your natural. Okay. So we're going to do a full head of foils, a shadow root foil, back to back. Then we're going to have to tone your hair to get out all the yellow and the orange and the brass, and then put that color on. Sound good? Okay, perfect. Woo, I'm excited. It's going to be a big change. It's going to be fun. I'm just going to do a rough cut right now. And so basically just so we don't have to color all this length that we don't need to. You ready for it? It's nice getting all the dead stuff off anyways. Yes.
We have her hair all sectioned out now. We have it in 4 quadrants, and in the front we're just using the part that she normally uses as the sectioning so that we can have the color put in how she wears her hair. Because we are going so light with the hair, we are going to start around the front to keep it lightest around the face. And then we're going to choose the thicker section first because there's more hair and it's going to take longer to foil this section. Starting here and working towards the smaller section is going to allow for a pretty even processing time because the other section will foil very quickly. When creating the foliage effect, we want to make sure that there's a very seamless blend from her dark root to the light ends we're putting in. So as we're working up this section, between every single foil, we're going to be staggering the amount of dark that we're leaving in each foil. You can see in this foil, I'm leaving quite a bit of dark in there. And what I'm doing when I'm painting the lightener on is that I am turning my brush sideways as I get to the dark root, and I'm feathering it gently into the dark. So we don't want to create any harsh lines with the lightener. So this is going to soften our paint when we're painting it on. And as well, leaving this much dark is going to allow for a diffuse color, because the next foil we're going to be putting it in closer to the root. You can see this next foil is painted on closer to the root, and I'm using the same painting technique where I'm feathering the lightener into the dark. For the third foil, now what I'm doing is I'm choosing amount of dark that's in between the first and second foil. So the first foil had quite a bit of dark, the second foil had very little, and now with this third foil, I'm putting in about half the amount of dark that was in between both. Continue up to finish the section and rotate through that foiling pattern, staggering the amount of dark that you have. The weave effect that I used in the foils is a fine to medium weave. Since we are weaving the foils, there are still sections of hair that are left out that have not been colored. We can see them hanging out between the foils here. We do want to make sure that this hair gets lifted and lightened as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting this into a foil on its own and using the same type of technique where we're painting the lightener on and feathering it into the dark. This is a back-to-back foil, so take a look at how many foils we have in this section. Moving on to the other side, the smaller section, we're going to be mirroring the same thing we did on the other side, working our way through the section, putting in back-to-back foils and staggering the amount of dark we leave in each foil. As you get to the top of the section, you want to be very conscious of the foiling pattern you're using at the top of each section. You want the look to be mirrored on the left and the right side of the part, so make sure you're putting your foils in accordingly so that they match on both sides. You also want to make sure the back sections mirror the front sections, and on the tops that it's looking very similar for the color placement. So get to the top of the section and mirror the same foiling pattern you used on the front two sections. Continue to use the staggering foil patterns that you did in the front on the back, staggering between the amount of darks you leave in each foil. Here are her foils all completed. You can see how a full head back-to-back foil has a ton of foils. There's not one hair left on her head that has not been put on a foil, and that's what we're doing when we're doing a full head of blonde in this foliage technique. Let's take a peek in the foils. This is looking really good. It's time to wash her out at the sink. Let's get these foils out and get the lightener rinsed out so that we can tone. Even without the lightener rinsed out, you can see how nice this color is going to turn out from the dark root blended softly right into the blonde ends. Here is her lightener all washed out before the toner, so we have a great palette now to put our toner on. We applied a 9 ash to her hair to tone it out. This is going to be the first toner before we put her silver color on. You can see how well it's toning out all that yellow and gold. We have a very nice neutral ash palette right now, and it's going to be the perfect canvas to put on our next color. Let's get her blow dried so that we can take out some of this moisture before putting on our next color. I'm going to quickly let you take a peek at this shadowed root. It looks amazing. So you can see how we don't see any harsh lines from her root color to the blonde. A perfect transition. We are going to complete the final haircut now and then put on her last color. For her silver color, I'm going to be using the J. Beverly Hills Silver, and then I'm actually going to be adding in some black pearl from the Joico. So this black semi-permanent color, I'm not putting in a ton, is going to add more of that slate hue to the color, which is going to look great. Apply the color very liberally. Make sure the color is very saturated in the hair. We're going to be coloring any blonde that we see because that's what we want to be silver. I'll give you guys a round view. You can already see how well the color is depositing. Woohoo, time to wash out. Take a look at this. Her hair is still wet, but you can see that color coming through so well. I'm gonna prep her hair with our Protect Heat Protectant. So this is an amazing spray that smells awesome. It's going to protect your hair from any heat damage. Also, it's gonna cut your blow dry time down and act as an anti-static for the hair. Next, I'm putting in volume, our hair volumizer. So this gives mega body and mega volume to the style. Next, I'm going to be putting in Replenish. It's our restoration oil. You guys should be finishing all your colors with this. It is an amazing oil that's going to fill in all the cracks and crevices of the hair, make the hair super soft, super shiny, and your colors will just pop. After her hair is all styled and dry, we're going to finish her hair with my favorite finishing product, which is Smooth. It's our split end mender, and it's going to seal all the ends down so the hair looks nice and crisp and get rid of any flyaways.
All right, we are all done now. So we finished the back-to-back foil. It was a big job, obviously. We've been here for 6 hours now. How are you feeling? Good. Look at this change, like amazing. How do you like it?
Love it.
So full change in the cuts, obviously, and in the color. Like what we decided to do is actually go with more of the silvery tone rather than the darker gray because we got our hair light enough. And what's really cool is now, well, one, she's a hairstylist, so she's able to go and do this color on her own again if she wants to, but she has now the flexibility to change it as well. So what I suggested for her is to pick up one of the color conditioners because then she can play around, switch up the color, she can do silver, she can do gray if she wants, but that's what's great about having such a beautiful palette. You really can do whatever you want. So if you guys have any questions about it, leave a comment below. We'll make sure to get them answered for you. Hit subscribe. We put out videos every single week. Of course, go check out our product. It is an organic sea kelp hair care line, so it is amazing in the hair. It allows you to have your colors look beautiful like this. It makes your hair soft and shiny. If you guys want to win free products, go to nvennhairbeauty.com/giveaway. We're doing free product giveaways every month. Other than that, I guess that's all. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
It's late now.